Hello, hello, hello. Oh, wow. That light does a lot. Hello, welcome in. It is a chill Tuesday today? Is it Tuesday? Probably. I believe yesterday was Monday. Who knows? I'm on summer break. I don't know what day it is at all. How's everybody doing today? I am doing pretty good. I had a pretty chill Monday after stream, and by that I mean it was not chill and I did get a lot done. I was very tired. I filmed a video. So there's gonna be a video this week, which is exciting. I actually just did the thumbnail for it today. I still need to double check it before I post it, but I finished editing it last night. So should be a new video like tomorrow. It's not gonna be anything super interesting, but I think it would be good to post another IB related video before I start trying to transition the content away from that. So that's exciting. Look forward to that. Yeah, I don't know what the video after that's gonna be about, but this video is done. So that's good. I hope everybody's having a very good Tuesday. It's very hot here, and I can't say I appreciate it. I guess it's no more hot than it has been the past few weeks, but for whatever reason, it's hitting me today. It might just be more humid, perhaps? Perhaps more humid? That might be it. Either way, it was so hot last night that I slept in the basement because it's colder down here. And you know that I was desperate because A, I slept in the basement, and B, on my way upstairs to brush my teeth, and I thought I was gonna sleep in my actual bedroom, I passed by a Thousand Legger on the stairs, and then I decided to come back downstairs to sleep down here. So you know I was desperate because I braved the Thousand Legger. That says a lot to me. That says a lot to me about what I was willing to do. So the title of today's stream is I just didn't know what to stream today. I think I have a plan for the next stream, but I'm not ready for it this stream, and so today's stream title is the stream where I didn't plan content, because I didn't plan anything. TBH, probably gonna do some studying for Japanese. But that might be interesting to some people. And if it's not interesting to some people, then we can always find something else to draw. We finished the piece we were working on the past few streams, so that's really exciting. That's good. I was really happy with how the background of it turned out. So that was exciting. But now I need to figure out what I'm going to draw next. And it's pretty difficult for me to think of things to draw that I know I'm going to stick with. So that's been my struggle. All right, well, let's see what I am drinking today. So I have my cup of water. And yes, I reuse the same cup and don't wash it in between. It's just water. And I guess I put iced tea and lemons in here too. But I take them out and I rinse it in between. It's just water. It's not that deep. Yes, we have some ice water that I made for myself 4 hours ago and then didn't start drinking it. So now we're gonna drink it. And I also have the White Peach Sunjoy from Chick-fil-A. I didn't expect it to come in such a tiny cup. I kind of expected it to be a normal sized drink and not a midget sized drink, but whatever. I know this is okay, if you're not from America and you're watching from we had someone from Finland in here at one point and we had someone from Norway in here a few streams ago, and I think someone else said that they weren't from America as well. I'd say we have actually, I can tell you, it's about 10% to less than 10% of Americans that watch this channel. We have massive portion sizes. We've been over this. This is not massive. This is tiny. This is like, I don't know, 12 to 16 ounces. I guess I could check. I think it's 16. That's not a lot. That's not a lot for America. We usually get like twice that for like a large size drink. So to like be forced into a small size drink, that's pretty unusual. Maria, hello, welcome back. It's good to see you again. How are you doing today? But yeah, so if you're not from America, this is probably a very normal size drink, but here this is very small. And I did not know that when I ordered it, that it was going to be that size, but it's pretty good. It's the White Peach Sunjoy, and I'd recommend it. It's very sweet, so it does kind of need to be diluted with some water, but pretty good. I do not normally eat out this much fast food, by the way. Like, it's been like every single stream I've had like some sort of like fancy drink from somewhere. That's not normally how my life is. Usually this is my life. Usually this is my whole life, is I just drink a lot of water. But it's been a weird week for my family, so Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. But no, so I slept in the basement and I braved the fact that I saw a thousand-legger, which if you don't live in a place that have thousand-leggers, first of all, you should be grateful. They don't actually hurt you. As far as I know, they can't actually like hurt you, but they're absolutely terrifying. They're just little like, I always call them centipedes, but they're not centipedes. They're just like little bugs that are like kind of tiny. Like if you know what a harvest mint is, or like some people call them like daddy long legs, spiders, but they're not spiders technically, but it's like a tiny bug. It's like a tiny long bug, and then they have like a million legs that come out, and the legs are really long, and they're awful. And they terrify me. And they move at the speed of light. Like if you want to catch one, you basically have to watch it the whole time, because otherwise it will be gone by the time you look back to like try and step on it or whatever. They're terrifying. And so I saw one of those when I was going upstairs, and I was like, great, I'm so glad I'm not going to be in the basement anymore. And then I went upstairs and it was super hot, and I like walk into my room and I'm like, okay, well it's fine, I'll just turn on the fan. Well, someone has already turned on the fan and it's still super hot. And I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this. I have like medical conditions where it's like hard for me to deal with the heat, and it was too much. I'm actually pretty hot right now, to the point where we might tie back up my hair and maybe turn on that fan, but we'll see. I'm just quite warm. It's been a quite warm day and a half for me. And so I slept in the basement. I slept awful because I slept on a couch, but I did bring down one of my stuffed animals, so that was pretty worthwhile. And I brushed my teeth. So, all in all, pretty worthwhile. Pretty worthwhile. All that to say, I don't have a plan for today's stream. I've been having plans for the streams. And by that I mean I come in and I work on the same drawing. And that's not what's happening today, because I finished that drawing. And that's not, I have the next stream planned, but I need to check some things before I do that stream. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? I just don't know what I'm doing. And I'm tired. And so I didn't put any thought into it. I have like a few fun stream plans that we'll do eventually. And by that I mean I think next stream is going to be a pretty fun stream. And by fun I mean just absolutely chaotic. But this stream, I need to go through my Japanese flashcards. If you didn't know, I am a rising second-year university student, and my majors are neuroscience and Japanese. And I'm not currently in classes. Well, okay, I'm taking a summer class, but I'm not technically in like a session of school. And I am worried that I'm going to forget all of my Japanese. So we're gonna probably do a little bit of Japanese flashcards, which sounds absolutely so interesting to you, I know. But it'll probably just be more of a conversation, chit-chat type stream than anything else. So yeah, that's the stream intro for today. I don't know that I have anything else to go off of other than that. So I also, okay, so here's something we could do. We could consider this. I need to make a stream layout at some point, and I think I'm gonna do it in the same janky ass way that I did all the rest of my stream stuff, and that being on Procreate. So perhaps we will do that as well at some point. We are still in my I don't know how to use OBS era, in that this is just an ongoing meme at this point. I still can't hear the music that I'm playing, and I have not learned how to fix that, but I also have not attempted to fix that, so perhaps it's a non-issue. And also, I don't know how to make chat look less... Oh, it's over here. How to make chat look less like this. Some streamers can have it like actually look pretty. I'd like that at some point. I just don't know how to do it. And I don't know how to ask the internet to tell me how to do that. So I haven't, but I will eventually. All right, that being said, let's study some Japanese. All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That was a sneak peek for the stream that's coming next. I should really rename my scenes. They're not named very well. All right. So obviously these are like backlogged. So okay, I finished doing this deck a long time ago. And then I don't know, it's weird. It just took me like, so okay, it's like 750 flashcards, which is not a good number of flashcards. Am I mad at you? No, why would I be mad at you? So it's like 750 flashcards. So it took me like months to get through the first time. And so now it thinks that I practiced it back in January when I started doing the flashcards. I believe this is Kokuritsu Daigaku. So some of them I need to know the kanji. Like this one I need to know the kanji, and some of them I don't need to know the kanji. Yasai, oyasai, yasai. Yeah. Don't know. これで Onoda. Nodo. It's nodo. It has like an N and a what, like a niwa. It was exactly what I said. Koto, nantoka. Nanika, nanika, something, literally, thing, some. Skoshi, chotto. I said skoshi. Eiga. I should not play with my mic. That's going to mess up your audio volume. And I also did not turn on your music because I still can't hear the music that you listen to. I fixed it. Eiga. Okay. Happyo or present? Yeah, that's what I said. Skoshi? We already did skoshi. Sukunai. 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 Kibishi, like that kind of deal. Hidoi. So, okay. In my class, what we're doing for my class is like basically just a bunch of vocab and stuff. And I swear to God, there's like 6 words in the Japanese language that all take some variation of cruel, harsh, or severe, and I can never remember which is which. Because it's like one will be just harsh and severe, and one's cruel, harsh, and severe, and one's severe and pain, or something like that. And so I can never remember, but this is hidoi. Heta. Can I do a sleep stream on live cam? Not today, but potentially sometime in the future. I will be planning to do something along those lines. But not today. It doesn't work out with my living arrangement right now. But in the coming months, I would say it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Heta. Hey, yeah, that was right. Tsukurimasu. This is not interesting content. Ue is on top, but that's where my brain's going. Is my shita. Ika. Oh, okay. Shita is like under, ika is below. That's the differentiator. Sonna koto? Soiyu koto? Omatase shimasu. Mataseru. Okay, I'm gonna say that was good enough because I said the thing and I just didn't conjugate it in the way that I remembered having conjugated it. Tsuyashi is what I think this is gonna be, but Kuyashi. I said Tsuyashi. So the problem with streaming this is I can't hold myself accountable and be like, it was close enough. It was close enough. Okay. Sabishi. Kanashi and sabishi, I mess up a lot. And I've always messed them up, and my teachers are like, not that one. And I'm like, okay, well then what do you want from me? And I always forget that I always like switch them in my head, and so I have to like switch them back. I don't know why that's like my vice with kanashi and sabishi, but it's definitely my vice. Oh. Gaigoku? Gaigoku? Okay. I'm going to say that was good enough because I know that the classifier for language is go, and I was not focused on it. So it can be a good and not a great. Low. Hikui. Okay. Kunikokugo? Kokugo. It was much more simple than I was thinking. Kini suru. Kincho. Okay. This is the part where it gets like frustrating to me. Utao. Yeah, that was fine. Betsu. Komarimasu. Kimemasu. Kimemasu. What is komarimasu? Kasukomarimashita. Oh, I'm thinking of kasukomarimashita. The other thing is my brain sometimes remembers the ones that we learned like on the same day or that we used on the same day in class as like being similar words or being related somehow, and that's not always helpful, like in this case when that's not true. Kimemasu. Kimemasu. Okay. This is just like Kuni? Yeah. Fuyu. Okay. Story time. I know all the seasons, and I knew all the seasons before I even started taking classes because of Given. If you didn't know this will be an interesting tidbit, fact, piece of information for you. The names of the characters in Given all associate with a season. And the band that the characters had formed before the new member joined the band was called The Seasons. So all of their names are associated with the season. And they mention it in the thing, but I don't think that they really go like more in depth than that comment. And then you also have, of course, Fuyu no Hanashi, which is a winter story. So let's see. So Aki is the nickname that they give one of the characters. That one's fall. Haru is the name for Haruhi, I believe, and Haru is spring. Is Aki fall? Aki's fall. Fuyu is winter, And then natsu is summer. So all of their names really do correlate to seasons, which I think is really cute. This is demasu, or deru. Dashimasu. Okay. I was so confident too. This is my problem, is I get a little overcomplicated. Imoto, imoto-san. Yeah, that one's good. Onaka ga suku? Onaka ga... I'm gonna say that was fine. That was close enough. Oto-san or chichi. Surukoto? Yeah. Bye. Tonari, I think. Yeah. Masu, I think. Some of these things like live in my brain. Yasashi, or, well, we'll go with yasashi. Yeah. Suru. Itashimasu is what they're looking for. What they're looking for is as if I'm not the one that wrote these. That's gonna be the verb stem and then hajimaru. Yeah. Riraksu. I like that one. It's cute. Riraksu. Yeah. Bangohan. Yeah. Arubaito. Arubaisu. Okay. I don't care. That's good enough because I know what I'm talking about and I know what somebody else would be talking about if they mentioned it. Oh. Ooh, too bad or regrettable. Zannen. Zannen da ne. Zannen da ne. Okay. Zannen. Tokidoki? Yeah. Isogashi. Yeah. We were just talking about this. Aki. I don't need to know the kanji for those yet. Happyo. Yep. Akai. Akarui. Okay. Akai. I think Akai is like red, but in the non... It's either in the adjective form or the noun form. Dame. Warui. Dame and warui both mean bad. Migi. Yeah. Mada. Actually, more? Yeah. Senko. Yep. Ayamaru. Yep. Okyakusama. Okyakusan. Yeah. Saki. Hisashiburi. Okay. Saki's like a while ago. Hisashiburi is like it's been a while since. That's kind of the differentiator there. Though, for me at least, it can be kind of confusing. Can be a little confusing. Daigaki. Good. Goro. Yeah. Toi. See, okay, this is what I was talking about. Troublesome, dangerous, awesome, extreme, maji, or something like that. Like, it's just got like dangerous can be abunai, troublesome can be mendokusai. Awesome is like sugoi, extreme, kibishi. It just gives those vibes, and so it's hard for me to do these ones, so I don't know. Yabai. Did I list that at all? No. Koto. Mono. Oh, okay. So this is what this is talking about, and this is just like becoming a teaching stream, but that's fine. What this is talking about is like if you have tabemono or like kaemono or wasuremono. And what's interesting about all of those words is what it does is it takes the verb stem and attaches it to this word mono to make it into a tangible thing. So taberu is to eat, tabemono is food. Or like kaimasu is to buy something and kaimono is shopping. And wasuremasu is like to forget something, and wasuremono is the thing you've forgotten. And so it's quite a neat function of the Japanese language. That being said, I did forget that that's what that specific card was referring to. Ryori? Ryori? Yeah. Yeah, I was right. Umai. Yeah. Ichinichiju. Ichinichichu. Ichinichiju. What if I just said it's fine and didn't pay more attention to it? Kyomi. Yeah. Otoko. Otoko no hito. Both, I think, are fine. Irashaimase! Yokoso. Okay. Both, okay. I was right, but I wasn't right. Yokoso. Iremasu. Ireru. Suppai. I don't know why my brain goes to Kokuritsu Daigaku. That one's the national. This one is like Shuritsu Daigaku. Kenritsu. Kenritsu Daigaku is the prefectural. Daijikan? Jikkai. So this one could be several because I wrote the word bag and didn't describe what I meant by bag. So it could be fukuro, gomibukuro, or kaban. Okay, it was fukuro or gomibukuro. And the differing things between those is gomibukuro. Gomi means trash. I don't know why it changes from fukuro to bukuro, but it does. And then kaban is like a purse, but it can also just be like a bag in general. So that was good. Ofuro. Heiki. Umakunai? That cannot be right. Okay, so if I was in class and I was told to say this word, I would probably say umakunai. And then I'd probably not be right, but I would say something that was a sentence. Mazui. Akeru. Shukurai. Drink some water. Oku. Yep. Kimochi. Yep. Hanasuru. Yes. If you're wondering why I'm letting... Okay, so when we started learning Japanese, they didn't introduce it as a... They didn't introduce verbs in the citation form. They introduced them in the mas form. And so like the first half of these flashcards are written in the mas form, and then the second half are written in the citation form. And so some of them, I only use them in one form or the other, and so that's the form I know them as. That being said, tsuyaku? honyaku. Honyaku. Hatsuon, honyaku, and suyaku like confuse the hell out of me. But this is honyaku. Translation is honyaku. Soto. Zenbu. Minna. Zenbu. Ame furu. Furu. Osake. Or arukoru. Arukoru. Yeah, that's fine. Benkyou suru. Benkyou shimasu. Gourmet. Gurume. Gurume. Cider. Ginko. Heya. Hajimaru. Hajimeru. Okay. My red flag for myself is that I always say hajimaru. It's hajimeru. And I've never called out on it. People never call me out on it. But it's wrong technically. It's supposed to be hajimeru, and I always say hajimaru. So that's tea, but it's fine. Hajimeru, hajimeru. I don't know. Is it like mai? It's me. Okay, me-sama or me? Shoppai? Shoppai. Did I say? I'll just put it again. Nagai? No. Nigai. I was close. Nagai. Shikken. Arimasu. Arimasu. Irimasu. Yeah. Ohiru. Ohiru. Okay. I know this word because of Sasaki Tomiyano. Because they had a special episode that was called Sotsugo Hen. So graduation is Sotsugo. Oh, the things we learn. The reasons why we learn them. I don't know. I don't remember. Sore ni. Maka ni. Hoka ni. Hoka ni wa blah 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 blah. Sore ni. Blah 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 blah. Hoka ni sore ni. Jo. Daigaku. Gaku. Gakko. Okay. Here's the T. I said that one in my head. But I will do it again because I feel like y'all could call me out on it. 週末言いますと言います。今朝珍しい。さっきお先来年神公平後輩文学文学バス何でもない何もおすすめ他 I feel like I must have written that one down incorrectly. You know what I'm kind of just now realizing? My iPad has the totally wrong time. Why? Why? Okay, well, 他 授業します。 Tokoro? I said Tokoro. Basho. I feel like I know those words enough. Senmon shimasu. Shitsumon. Shitsumon. Aida. Machimasu. そんなことないよ。とんでもない。とんでもない。That's when I get into the phrases that I really start to suffer. Speaking of phrases, this one's okage-sama de. And I know that because in the first oral interview, which is how we had our assessments. In the first oral interview of my second semester, they had us try and say that it was thanks to someone that something happened. Did I know how to say that? Abso-fucking-lutely not. No, I did not. I did not know how to say that in the slightest. Do I know how to say it now? Yeah, it's okage-sama de. It's okage-sama de. Because I learned it because it was like I got stuck on it so hard. Anyways, okage-sama de. Hon. Something ga warui. Kimochi ga. Guai. Okay. I always forget that word, guai. Tokusho. Toshokan. If I'm like saying like ridiculous things on stream, it's just because I don't know what I'm talking about. Kuruma. I went to check my iPad for the time. My iPad does not know what time it is. My iPad really does not know what is going on, and I should look into that. We are not yet in the 2 to 230 range, of which I feel like I get 7,000. Sorry, I'm reading an email right now because my university sent us an email reminding us not to use drugs, and it's the middle of the summer, man. Like, what? Like, okay, won't use drugs. They're like reminding us of the fines for the drugs, and I'm like, dude, we're not even in school. I'm not at school. What? Whatever. Kaigishitsu. Dashiajin? Spengo. Abunai. Abunai also means watch out because it's like, oh, that's dangerous. Watch out. But in English, we don't say that's dangerous. We say watch out, and so it gets translated as watch out instead of abunai, instead of dangerous from abunai. Akka-chan. Yep. Hen. Okashi. Okashi. Soudan shimasu. Soudan shimasu. Soudan suru. Chairo. Yeah. Hoteru? Yeah. These are my favorite words, where it's just the English word, but in a slightly different font. Literally just a different font. Honto ni? Honto? Daishi. Ho. This is like, I believe Ika, Ie, maybe not Ika, LOL, just Ie. Ie, otaku. I mean, I only need what, two? Uchi. Yeah, that's fine. Zen. Made ni. made made ni. Exists inanimate would be arimasu. I don't know why I wrote that down twice. I didn't need to know that twice. Se wa? Se? Smaho? Densha? Smaho? Sengaki. Yeah. Kara. Hajimaru. I fucked it up again. Hajimeru. Hajimeru. Hajimemasu. Why did I write that word down twice? See, sometimes I'm only realizing that I wrote these down twice, like now. Konban. Dashimasu. LOL. It's not. That's not my final answer. I'm not buzzing in. Suru. Yeah. Yarimasu. Naseru. Nasaru. That's good enough. Hi. Yeah. Wasuremono, we were talking about this earlier. Kaigi. That's actually where kaigishitsu comes from. There's also a meeting, but I can figure that one out. I don't know. Hitorizutsu. Hitorizetsu. So hitori is the one part and the zutsu is the at a time part. So hitorizutsu. Sonokoto. Sonna. Sorede. Are we in korede? That says korede. We are not in the 2 p.m. rush time yet, but I feel like it's close enough to say because I have gotten 4 emails in the last 5 minutes. They really like this time, and I also spend this time streaming, so it is frustrating. Okay, we're gonna move over to just talking for a few minutes because I want to know what the heck is up with my iPad right now. Because it said it's 9:41 a.m. the whole time. Oh, but I unplugged it and it suddenly knows what the hell is going on. And I plugged it back in and it doesn't know what's going on anymore. What if I choose to ignore this problem? Either way, we're going to take a break from this studying because it's been 30 minutes of studying. And I'm getting a little tired. That's a lot of studying. So instead, we'll go back to just chit-chatting. So yeah, I slept in the basement, and it wasn't nice. But I did it. Well, because it was hot. It's still hot. I'm still pretty hot. We might take a pause in a second here so I can turn on the fan, but my feet are cold. My body is hot. And I don't have a solution for this problem. I love this summer. I should drink some more water. That might solve my problem. So I talked about it a little bit, but so I'm watching this one specific drama. Well, I'm watching several dramas at the same time. But I'm watching Zenda Meshi, and it's just absolutely the most insane show I think I've ever watched. And I can't... Okay. Actually, you want to know the truly most insane show I've ever watched? I think it was this year. It was called Bokura no Maikuro na Shumatsu, and it was... The English was the end of the world with you. This show, I watched it as it was airing. I could not have predicted a single episode. Every single episode, something happened that I could not have told you what was going to happen. It was actually the most insane piece of media I've ever witnessed. So it starts out that this guy is alone, and he finds out that the world's ending. Which, first of all, you start your show out with, the world is ending in 10 days. You have 10 days to live. Go. And so he goes to the library to, I think, return library books, which, again, what the fuck? So he goes to the library and he runs into his ex, which is like, whoa, crazy. And then the ex, I am going to spoil this whole show. If you actually want to watch this, you know what? I can spoil this whole show and you'll still watch it and not expect what's coming next. So I wouldn't even worry about spoilers. But if you are worried about spoilers for this one random ass Japanese drama that I'm going to talk about right now, this is your warning. So basically what had happened was, so he goes to the library and he runs into his ex, and the ex says, I need you to help me with something, and in return I'll give you pills to take to end your life so that you don't have to watch the end of the world. And he was like, okay, what's the thing that I have to help you with? And the ex is like, I just killed a man. I need you to help me take care of the body. And that's the end of the first episode. The episodes are 20 minutes. The episodes are 20 minutes. What the hell? And so, what else is there to do except go help out with the dead man? So they go. So this is episode 2 now. Wait, is it episode 2 or episode 3? Episode 2, I think, is entirely a flashback. Episode 2 is entirely a flashback to their relationship, and you find out that the ex was abusive. You find out that the ex was, like, cheating on him, and the ex, like, didn't think they were in a relationship because it was only physical, and so they never, like, said that they were dating, except for the fact that they spent all their time together. And I think they lived together, like, to an extent, like, but he didn't think that they were dating, and so the ex was cheating. Okay, but that was the second episode. The second episode was the one where I was like, okay, this is gonna be the most insane piece of media I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing. So the third episode, I could be getting these episodes wrong, but the story, I cannot make this up to save my life. So they go to the ex's house, and at the ex's house, they go to find the person that was killed with this medicine, essentially, and come to find out that person was a kid, like a teenager, but the teenager's not dead, but the ex was like, no, their heart was totally stopped. Man's dead. But he's not. Okay. So the kid's alive. I can't take this show seriously. I watched this entire show. I watched it as it came out. This was the most exciting part of my week. So the kid is alive, and you find out that the kid wanted to unalive himself because his favorite idol also unalived herself, and so he wanted to do the same thing, except the world's still ending in like 10 days, and so they haven't done, actually it's less than 10 days, because the man spent like 5 days or something ridiculous, like playing video games, and then the server crashed, and so that's when he went to the library. So it's like several days have passed. And so they have like only a fewer number of days than 10. I don't remember how many. But the kid's like, okay, well, I kind of want to go home. The kid's like, well, I'll go home then if the world's ending, I guess. And so they're like, okay, well, where do you live? And he was like, Matsuyama or something stupid. And they were like, okay, that's like several days of travel. And I'm like, okay. And so they get in the car. They get in the car and go to the main character's house. And the main character still lives in the same place that he lived in when he was dating the ex. And so it was like this whole moment. And they get all this stuff like that he has like saved up for the end of the world, I guess. And then they go to the kid's house. But they don't. It's like the next 5 ends. It's like the next solid significant portions of the episodes are about them traveling to this person's house. Okay, so the kid's house. Along the way, I I can't. I'm like recounting this, and it's like the details keep springing back up in my mind. So they go to this hotel, to stay in this hotel, and so the ex is rich. I didn't mention this. The ex is like incredibly rich. The ex has a lot of money. Okay? The ex has a lot of money. And so they can afford to stay in hotels because hotels are incredibly expensive because they have like amenities, basically, like running water and stuff. So they go to stay at this hotel and they hear commotion outside the door. So they open the door and there's this girl and she's being harassed by like men. And they're like, okay, well, we don't want that to happen. And so they grab her and they pull her into the room and they get the men to go away. And the teenager's like, oh my God, that's my idol. And everybody's like, but your idol. Everybody's like, but your idol isn't supposed to be alive. But he's like, that's definitely the idol. And she's like, you have it wrong. I'm her sister. But they look the exact same. Like to the point where like I am 100% sure they just used that actor to take the pictures of the actress. They're not the actress, the idol, right? So they meet up with this girl. And this girl's like, I want to go home. I want to go back to my family. And so the teenager's like, well, I don't want to go back to my family anymore. I want to take you to your family. And so that's what they do. They, instead of going all this way, out of this way to go to the boys' house, they go to the girl's house. Along the way, they realize that the girl is a cross-dresser. And so he's actually not even the idol's sister. It's the idol's brother. But he's still the girl, and they don't tell the teenage boys. They've decided they're not going to let the teenage boy in on this secret, and instead they're just going to keep it a secret. Okay? Oh my God, I'm trying to remember. Okay, so then I think they went to a gas station. No, it was like not even a gas station. It was like just like a bunch of people who were sitting there on the street because the world's ending in like however many days. And the person that the teenager believes to be the idol's sister, I don't remember any of these people's names, or else I'd use them, but I literally don't remember any of their names. Except I think one of them was like "du" or "shu" or something. It had like an "oo" sound to it, but I don't remember. But anyways, the girl, who's not actually a girl, is cross-dressing. But okay, they're about to get like knocked over the head with something falling from the sky. And so the teenage boy sees this, and suddenly the bottle or whatever it was floats midair. He pushes her out of the way and the bottle hits the ground. And both of the people that were in a relationship when they were younger, which have you forgotten they were in a relationship when they were younger? Because they were dating when they were in college, and just, now they're doing this. And so the bottle falls, and they're like, oh my God, what the heck? How did that bottle just levitate in midair? So that happens. And then they go to a waterfall. They're still taking, so okay, they had to abandon the car at some point, and then they're biking now, I guess. Because there's no more gas, maybe? I don't remember. But they're biking, and they see this waterfall, and they're like, oh my God, let's go to the waterfall. And so they all go to the waterfall, and the girl sits off to the side, and then eventually she goes off with the teenage boy to like explore the waterfall. And so the exes are together, and they're like, all right. And then they just start making out, and then the other two come back, and they're like, tea. And then it's not mentioned. They're like, should we say something? And then the guy was like, no, not really. I think we should leave it be. I think we should just let it happen. So I can't take myself seriously. So they finally get to the girl's house. Which, keep in mind, is the idol's parents, the boy's idol's parents for the idol that's dead. So the boy goes to the altar and like pays his respects to the idol who he loved. And they have to, the sister brother has to explain to the parents the whole situation of why they're cross-dressing as the sister, but not to tell the teenage boy. They leave him out of the loop, right? And then they go to the teenage boy's house. And drop him off. And I'm going to pull up the last scene of this drama because I feel like you need to experience it. And so we're going to take a minute so that I can pull it up. Bokura no Maikro na Shumatsu. And so I feel like I've missed like 95% of the detail. But okay. I figured it out. Where the fuck's the hide button? Oh, that's the hide button. Okay, we're not doing that yet. We're doing that another day. So don't worry about that right now. Oh no. Okay. Can you see this all right? You can see it just fine. I don't know if you can hear it. It doesn't matter. Okay. This is the last scene, basically, in this drama. So it's the meteor coming that was going to save the world, and that's the teenage boy. He blows the meteor out of the way. And that's it. And then the main character wakes back up. And it's like, I guess the world's not ending. But he stays together, I guess. Presumably he stays together with the ex. Because the ex promises they won't cheat this time. That's my retelling of Bokura no Shumatsu no Maikro na Shumatsu. If that interested you at all, wow. That's pretty impressive. I recommend you... Do I even recommend it? I don't know. But it was the most insane piece of television I've ever watched. And I watched these episodes as they were coming out weekly, and I swear to God, every single episode that came out had something that happened in it that I could not have predicted would happen. Everything that happened was just crazy. And so if you are old enough, which hopefully you are if you're watching the stream, if you're old enough and it interests you, check it out. It's called Bokura no Maikro na Shumatsu, or the English is The End of the World with You. It was actually the most insane piece of media. So in the end, I made my friends watch that end scene as well. They knew the whole plot, but they didn't watch the show with me because it's just the most... If you know of a more insane piece of media, please let me know. Because honestly, it was such a fun time trying to watch that. It was such a fun time watching that I would absolutely do it again. But I feel like because I already know all the plot, like I watched this months ago and I can still recount that much of the plot, and that's how you know they like really stuck in my head, because I'm usually very bad at remembering like plots, and like I can't remember any of their names. And so, any recommendations for, how shall we put it, the most insane shows you've ever seen? Give and I will watch. I will watch. Whew. I feel like I need to calm down from that. That was a lot. That was a lot, gamers. Whoa. I watched a lot of crazy TV, but that was up there. I like the premise that they gave it was like, the premise that they gave that TV show was the world is ending. He meets up with his ex. What'll happen? And I'll tell you what, I did not think that was going to be what was happening. I'll tell you what, they said, what'll happen? And I said, not that! And so I'd like to remind you that the exes, who were kind of abusive and also from university, met up at a library because the world is ending, and then bonded over taking and disposing of a dead body in order to give the guy pills to end his life. And then it ended up with that guy blowing the meteor away from the earth. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. It's not actually. I missed a whole plot point, I'm realizing now, where like they had to camp because there was no amenities, I guess, and like the guy like hurt his ankle like really bad. This was before they went to the waterfall. The guy like hurt his ankle really bad, and it was like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know. Like, you cannot tell me for a single second that the person who directed that show was not on actual acid. There's no way. There's no way. Anyways, we're calm. We're calm, we're cool, we're collected. We're not stressing about this at all. All right. We're about an hour in, so I'll do my little plug. Hi, if you're enjoying the stream or you're enjoying the VOD, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, drop something in chat, or if you like the content, please feel free to subscribe. And if you do subscribe, feel free to press that little bell icon next to the subscription button. That way you can be notified when I go live or when I post videos. There should be a new video this week, which is not that impressive, but like for me, I haven't posted a video in like a year, so that's pretty good that I edited a whole video. That was a lot of work. I filmed and edited the whole video. My life is so hard. Oh my God. I like that drink more now that some of the ice is melted, by the way. If you were here at first and I was talking about that drink, it's definitely improved since the ice has melted. Also, we've been doing this game, and by we I mean just me, where every 2 to 2:30, I feel like I get an insubordinate amount of emails. And so I've been counting the number of emails that I've gotten from 2 to 2:30. I got 4 emails between 1:55 and 2, and I've gotten none since then. Just in case you were wondering. I don't know why this game is not working out for me now that I've called it out. I've called out its ways, and so now it's not happening the way I want it to. Shame. Shame. That TV show, man. That was such a ride. That was such a ride. I've watched some other, like, pretty wild TV shows. None as wild as that. Like, I don't think I could ever... I'm not sure that there's another TV show that exists in this world that's as wild as that. I could make a whole YouTube video about that show, actually. I'm going to write that down because I feel like I definitely could. Just going through and, like, telling you about that TV show. Bro. Actually, though. What else have I watched that's kind of like that level of just insanity? Well, apparently I watched a movie and I don't remember watching this movie. At all. I mean, a lot of these aren't as crazy. Which is probably for the best. I'd say a cute TV show that I enjoyed that I recommend is, like, in terms of cute TV shows, I'd say Business Proposal was pretty good. It's based on a manhwa. All good things are. Okay, you know what I need to do before I make this YouTube video about, Bokuro no Micro no Shumatsu? I need to read the manga. Because it was based on a manga, and I just need to know if the manga was quite as insane as the TV show itself. I need to know. I need answers. I need answers in my life. Let me see if I can find I bet I could find the manga pretty easily. Because I bet it's, pirated. Oh, it is. It surely is. In case you were wondering, on the site that it was pirated on, it got less than 6 out of 10. Which, fair. It's only 2 volumes. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making a video about this TV show, I think. Because, actually what? What was that? Okay. Oh, that was an email. We're 20 minutes in and I just got another email. It was spam. It was spam. Yes, it's almost always spam emails between 2 and 2:30. And I feel like I need to extend my little, I always say 2 and 2:30, but like maybe I should say 1:50 to like 2:45 because that would be a little bit of a broader range. But I feel like it's funnier if I just stick with 2 to 2:30. That being said, this is still the stream where I did not plan content, and so we're going to be continuing that, and I'm going to be checking my summer course. But you can't see my screen because I'm logging into sensitive information, and I don't want you to know where I am taking this summer course. Okay. I'm taking a philosophy course. I talked about it a little bit, the fact that I was taking this philosophy course. My professor's just been a nightmare for this course. And so I'll be interested to see if they've graded my assignments. I don't know why they copied down all of the work that we need to do for the course this week, but I did. I also need to write an essay for this course. Sometime between now and July 2nd, which means I have a little less than 2 weeks, which means I kind of need to do it, like, now. Let's check my grades for this summer course. This is riveting content. We went from, like, talking about the most insane TV show to now I'm, like, having a conniption on whether or not I need to fix my life. Well, he needs to grade my work, but other than that, we're fine. Because I'm transferring the credits over to my regular university, I only need to get like a C in the course. So I'm just trying to get a C, which shouldn't be too bad. It's just that the professor's been a nightmare, which has not been enjoyable, to say the least. Yeah, that's what we have going on. But I did find the manga, so I wish that I don't think this is, I think this is an explicit manga, so I can't read it on here, which is a little bit upsetting because I feel like that would be such a funny time, is reading this manga live on stream. But I don't think that's a great idea. I don't know that that's the bestest choice I could make. Whew. So I've been streaming for around about a week now, and I don't know how I'm having diminishing success, but that's pretty funny. The first few streams, I had a lot of people come in, a lot of people say hello. This first stream was really strong, the second stream was really strong, the third stream was strong. Yesterday's stream was, a few people popped in, didn't say a lot, and then this stream we just had one person popping in and saying hello so far. Which is pretty funny, to be honest, that it's diminishing returns. What you gonna do? As far as I'm concerned, though, the stream after this one should have some pretty good content. You guys got a sneak peek because I kept forgetting how to use OBS. You got a sneak peek, but it should be pretty good. Should be pretty good. I'm hoping. I'm still quite warm. We were talking about this earlier. I am still quite warm. I have not yet cooled down. That being said, what me see if I can't grab a picture and then we can draw something. Let me go through my Pinterest. I won't let you look at my Pinterest for privacy, but I'm on Pinterest for myself, just trying to find a reference photo. And now I'm getting distracted by Tears of the Kingdom. Okay. So here's the thing. Tears of the Kingdom's probably definitely getting its own video. Because I have no way to screen share or like screen capture my Switch. But it's still my beloved. Okay, we're going to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. If you do not want Tears of the Kingdom spoilers, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm going to put it on screen too. If I can figure out how to put text on screen again. Oh no. Oh, I figured it out. Yeah. That's good enough. Cute. So yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is an incredible game. Tears of the Kingdom is an incredible game. I don't have my Switch sitting next to me. I don't know. I mean, I know like generally where my Switch is. Oh, it is sitting next to me. It was just under the blanket. I got the fancy Switch. So you're gonna get to look at that first, because it's my pride and joy, to be honest. It's really pretty. Ooh. It's so pretty. It's so pretty and I love her. I actually like that the back is white. I didn't think I would, but I do. The back also has this like, there you go. You can kind of see it. There's a texture to it almost. I love textures. I love textures of things. I'm like a toddler in toys. Like I'm like a toddler in a store because I just go around and touch everything. So, here's my takes on Tears of the Kingdom. I have a lot of takes. It was awesome. It was the best, to be honest. It was one of the best games I think I've ever played. And I don't play a lot of games, so I guess that's not really high praise, but it was really high praise. It's really high praise, okay? So, first of all, the fact that Rauru says, you're exactly as Zelda said, and then you get that scene with Zelda where she talks about Link, and she's like praising him up and down to Rauru, and then he comes back and he says, yeah, you're just like how Zelda said you are. I was like, my heart, oh my god. Like, it's something that I only really noticed, like, working backward, like, looking back at it. But man, that one-liner, that throwaway line from Rauru is so heart-wrenching in hindsight. Because, like, do you ever wonder if Rauru knew what happened to Zelda? Like, that she turned into a dragon? Because Rauru's... Okay, here's my headcanon. My headcanon is that Rauru's spirit was trapped in his arm. And that's why, like, at the end, when Rauru's arm on Link, like, disintegrates, and Rauru is able to be with Sonia, and it really gives, like, vibes of, like, the first time that they're seeing each other again for a really long time. In my opinion, that's kind of why, is because I feel like his spirit was trapped in his body, which was holding down the Demon King, and then by the time his body had, like, disintegrated, it was just his arm, and then he gave his arm to Link, and then at the end, when Link loses the arm, Rauru's, like, freed. So, do you think that in that sort of a headcanon theory type beat, do you think that there's perhaps a possibility that he didn't know what happened to Zelda? Because that would be so sad. Also, do you ever think about how Mineru was the last Zonai alive? Because technically Rauru gave up his life before Mineru like, became a spirit? Because that's crazy. But I think about Rauru a lot. I think Rauru and Sonia are just like the cutest little bits of love ever. They're just adorable. I love them so much. So much. So much. I think that, like, if you look back at, like, the second Dragon's Tear that you pick up... So, okay. I did all the Dragon's Tears in order. I picked them up in order because I wanted to. And because what are you going to do? You can't stop me. I'm unstoppable. And I picked them all up in order. And I think that was the right choice for me because it made the story hit a little harder. And it was really sad. But yeah, in that second memory when Rauru and Sonia are looking at Zelda, and Zelda's standing at the place where, and if you didn't realize this is the place she was standing. She's standing at the place where the opening cutscene takes place in Breath of the Wild. And she's looking out over Hyrule and she's like, oh no, this is not the same. And then Sonia gives Rauru a little nudge. It's so cute. They're so cute. And that was like, like, it was such a good little detail to put in where it's like clearly Sonia and Rauru are so close to one another. And I just like that they put that in. I liked that it was included. Yeah, that was cute. That was really cute. That was a 10 out of 10 moment. Do you snore in your sleep? I don't. I am quite a poor sleeper though. I don't sleep still. How about you? Do you snore in your sleep? No, but Sonia and Rauru have my whole heart. And then, okay, back to that scene that we were talking about with Link, or not with Link, with Zelda, where she was talking about Link, when she came and when she talked to Sonia about, actually, when she talked to Rauru about Link, Sonia, like, clearly already knew, and it just gives me such warm and fuzzy vibes because, like, I really see Rauru and Sonia as, like, a mother-father kind of connection for Zelda. Like, they were very much a mother-father kind of connection, and so it was so sweet that, like, obviously I ship Zelda and Link if that wasn't, like, blatantly obvious, but just the fact that Zelda was, like, praising him up and down, and Sonia was like, yeah, I know. And Rauru goes back and tells Link that that's exactly how Zelda described him. It's just like, it hits all the right places. And then on the Great Sky Island, you have the Temple of Time. And I said the same thing when, as I know many others did. This is not the Temple of Time I know. Not my Temple of Time, girl. And so I was like, when I looked at it initially, I was like, what do we do in there? Because, like, do you go in and... I didn't know if you went in and it would be like... I didn't think it would be a dungeon this early on, but I thought perhaps you would go back to it and it would be a dungeon and then you completed the dungeon and then Zelda was at the end. That was kind of my initial hypothesis, because obviously the game tells you that Zelda is on the other side of the door at the Temple of Time, or what they're calling the Temple of Time. So I didn't know if perhaps that when you went through those doors, that would be the end of the game, and maybe you went through the Temple of Time and it was a dungeon and that was like the last thing you did and then you found Zelda. And obviously that wasn't the case, but I don't know if anybody... Well, I'm sure other people realize this. I cannot be the only person to have realized this. But when you get recall, when you get the power of recall, and when Link holds out his hand and Zelda takes it and then she gives him recall, that's Zelda's sage cutscene. So every other sage has a cutscene where they're either doing a fist bump or like a handshake or some sort of like movement like that, and they get the sage's ability. That's their sage cutscene. And Zelda's sage cutscene is right at the beginning at the Temple of Time. You'll also notice that every other sage, when they did their sage cutscene, was at the temple of whatever ability they had. So Temple of Time makes sense because Zelda had the power of time, which, in my mind and in my heart, indicates that there might be a Temple of Light. I think about a lot, like, what happened to the tears? Or not tears, lol. I keep calling them tears, and that's really cringy of me. What happened to the secret stones? So, obviously the sage ones get passed down. Mineru's remains Mineru's, that's not a big deal. But Sonia and Rauru both have a dragon's tear. And Ganon takes Sonia's, and Zelda gets Rauru's. Which the fact that Zelda gets Rauru's and doesn't have Rauru's light power indicates to me that the secret stones aren't obviously like specific to the power that the person had. They change. But either way, there was still a secret stone that belonged to Ganondorf, and we destroyed that secret stone. But I'd be interested to see if there's perhaps some way to bring it back. A choice that I thought was kind of interesting and maybe a little bit bizarre was the fact that Rauru was the one with the light powers and not Sonia. Because if Sonia was the one with the light powers, that would make sense, because that would make her a descendant of the goddess and one of the first, like, Zeldas, if that makes sense. So in the Breath of the Wild lore, really all the lore of all the thingies, Zelda is the descendant of Hylia. She's the embodiment of Hylia, then brought down, or like through the generations. And so the daughter's always named Zelda. And if Sonia had the light powers, that would make sense, because it's always the female and it always pertains to Hylia, which was female. But Rauru's the one with the light powers. So I'm like, how does that work? Are the light powers perhaps not having to do with Hylia's, like... Are the light powers perhaps not having to do with Rauru's... I don't know. It's just like something to think about, right? Like, maybe they don't have something to do with that at all? I don't know. It's confusing. So, if you look at the timeline, the events of Tears of the Kingdom obviously take place after Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild's at the very end of the timeline, and it merges all three split Zelda timelines, right? Because of Ocarina of Time, which split the timelines. And then they all reconverge for Breath of the Wild. Fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem, obviously, with Tears of the Kingdom taking place right after Breath of the Wild. What I have a problem with is what is like the founding era, or like when Hyrule was founded by Sonia and Rauru. I have a problem with when that takes place. So my working theories are like, so it all comes back to Skyward Sword, right? Because in Skyward Sword, we get the lore that Zelda is the embodiment of Hylia, and Zelda gets locked in an amber for a period of time. Mickey, just have time to stop by and wish you a good stream today. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. You as well. Thanks for stopping by. It means a lot. I hope to see you at a stream soon, since you aren't able to hang around at this one today. But, so okay, for Skyward Sword, we learned that Zelda goes in this amber for like however long, right? She's in this amber for a period of time that I don't remember. Mickey, been a bit busy this week. Yeah, no worries. I completely understand. It's been, yesterday was quite busy for me as well, so I totally get it. Don't worry about it. Thanks for stopping by, though. I really appreciate it. I don't remember how long Zelda's in the amber. I think that, I haven't played Skyward Sword. I've watched a streamer play Skyward Sword, but I've never played Skyward Sword because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford to buy it for my Switch, and so I did not. But I know the story. So Zelda's in the amber, and she's the embodiment of Hylia, and she's the first embodiment of Hylia. And Link in that game fights Demise, and Demise is just some dude. I mean, he's like a god or whatever, but like he's just some dude. And so it's like, it begs the question to me of like, what the heck's up with that, right? Because when Link goes to the surface, he is in theory the first person to go to the surface, but not the first person to go to the surface, because obviously like Impa's already been there or whatever else. And in Tears of the Kingdom, I don't know if this was already confirmed or what, but the Sheikah are Hylian. I did not know that. I don't know why I didn't know that, but I thought they were like their own race of like Hylian-esque people, but no, they're just Hylians, and they're just like special, I guess. Because in Tears of the Kingdom, it lists like Impa as like Hylian, in parentheses like Sheikah, or like the other way around or whatever. But it lists him as both. So Link's not the first Hylian to go to the surface. But I guess the thing that's like holding me up is like Tears of the Kingdom confirms that the Hyrule Castle was built to be on top of Rauru, holding down the Demon King so that it can be protected all the way until Link's time, right? And so to me that means that the founding of Hyrule has to take place in between something and the first time we see the castle. Because the first time we see the castle, Rauru would have already had to trap the Demon King because the castle was built on top of that. Right? Right. Because that's confirmed in Tears of the Kingdom. There's like a placard that says like the castle was built to protect Rauru. Yeah. And so then you have to consider Skyward Sword. So in Skyward Sword, the islands are in the sky. Obviously. That was such an obvious statement. Wow. I stated that like it was some like grandiose discovery, but that was the most bland statement I think I could have ever said. Anyways, yeah, the islands are in the sky. Wowie. Crazy. The islands are in the sky. The islands are in the sky. And in Breath of the Wild, the islands are in the sky. So you can deduce by Pyrrha saying at the end, we're like doing like theory crafting, right? I feel like I should write this down. We're doing theory crafting, right? You can deduce based on the fact that Pyrrha says something along the lines of, wow, I didn't know such great land masses could float in the sky. The Zonai are crazy. She says something like that. And so you have to deduce that the Zonai made islands go in the sky. So here's my, I guess, like one of my running theories that probably needs to be disproved is I think that the Zelda in Skyward Sword is the embodiment of Hylia, but I think she's also Sonia's child. Sonia and Rauru's child. Which sounds a little silly, but obviously like Zelda had to come from somewhere. Did Zelda have parents in Skyward Sword? Let me Google this. Did Zelda in Skyward Sword, did Zelda have parents? What a question. Zelda's father in Skyward Sword. What? Gaepora is the... Oh my god, no, she did have a father. Fuck. I forgot. Because her father looks like an owl. The descendant of the schoolmasters that go back countless generations. I remember now. I remember her father. Okay, so maybe she's not directly Sonia and Rauru's child, which actually would make more sense. But if the familial line that is Gaepora, Gaepora. If that family line is having to do with Ravu and Sonia. So okay, what I'm coping with right now is the fact that Sonia states in Tears of the Kingdom, the fact that Sonia states that there's a family line between Sonia, Ravu, and Zelda. But that's a really far family line because, okay, getting out the iPad. We're writing it down, boys. I got distracted, if that wasn't obvious. I'm contributing my handwork, by the way. If that wasn't, I don't think I said that. Also, I'm giving my voice a break. Oh, this is a lot. When I offered my handwriting, I thought it would be like a lot less than this. This is the weirdest interlude I've ever had. Does it just keep going? Okay, well, I'm gonna say that I'm done because I don't want to keep doing it. Okay. So, Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom. So, Castle Skyward Sword, okay. So the castle we know is built to protect Rauru and the Demon King, the seal. It's built for that. But in Skyward Sword, there's no castle. The islands. Pure Estates. Zonai raised the islands. And in Skyward Sword, obviously there's floating islands. That's not really like a discovery. The Zonai died out with Rauru. Well, with Mineru, technically. But like Rauru, Mineru, they're the last Zonai. Which, side note, Ganon got really... Oh, hold on. Let me put in my text that says that we're spoiling Tears of the Kingdom right now. I'll put it up here. That's good enough. Which, side note, Ganon got really upset with Rauru that he like married a Hylian, but like who was Rauru gonna marry? Mineru? Like what? Hello? I feel like I split this up really awkwardly. So here's what we're working with so far. I feel like I had more ideas. Okay, yeah. So Sonia never fully states that Rauru is also blood related to Zelda. I guess I just jumped to the conclusion that that would make sense. Which, not technically a case that you can make for that, right? Like she says there's a blood connection and that, okay, so here's my reasons why I think Rauru is also related to Zelda. Because Sonia states that there's a blood connection, and Sonia states that Zelda has both light and time powers. Fine. Reasons why I think that maybe Rauru isn't biologically related to Zelda. How did Rauru and Sonia have a child? When did Rauru and Sonia have a child? Because was it... I guess it could have been before Zelda got there, but it's just weird that if that's the case, that we just never met that child. Right? Like, Sonia and Rauru, really, they both die. We watch them die in the Dragon's Tears. We literally watch Sonia die. And we, like, basically watch Rauru be trapped. So if they were to have a kid, they would have already had that kid. If they could even have kids at all. Because they're different species. But also, Rauru's a god, so... But then that begs the question, like, if they didn't have a kid, how are Zelda and Sonia related? Like, maybe Sonia has a sister. That's possible, but then that doesn't make sense on how Zelda would have gotten both of the powers. Like, we thinking big thoughts here, fam. I feel like I should include that. So, if Sonia and Rauru had a kid, let's say, for ease of understanding, that kid was 100% Hylian. Why did we not meet the kid? Would the kid go on to be the first royalty? Did the kid build the castle? Why didn't we meet the kid? Well, how old would the kid have been? How old is Sonia? Rauru I'm less concerned about. I guess I shouldn't say that. Well, but I am. How long have they been married? They didn't tell us. They didn't say. This is confusing. So, okay, let's say for ease, I'll put it in gray. Let's say that they have a Hylian kid before the game even starts, that we don't meet the kid, and that the kid is the one to be the first royalty, perhaps the one that built the castle to protect Rauru. Fine, I guess. I mean, it's still a little much for me, but like, they're royals. They don't need to see their kids, I guess, or have any relationship to their kids. That's a little mean. But then we go back to the whole castle and island situation. Like, technically we have no formal proof to say that the Zonai raised the islands for Skyward Sword. Like, we just don't have any grounds to say that technically, but also it makes sense. It makes sense. And so, what do you want me to do about that? What do you want me to do about that? Boy, I don't know how to solve this problem. So there's obviously no Zonai in Skyward Sword. So we have to assume that... Okay. So here's my, thoughts right now. We technically never see a castle in Skyward Sword. However, Skyward Sword is one of the more limiting games in terms of where you can go. You can only go to Lanayru, Eldin, and, one other area, like Farron or something. No, was it Farron? Hold on, we need to check, because if it's Farron, that's important. It was Farron. Fuck! That complicates things! This just in. Local girl gets upset because she cannot figure out Zelda lore that probably wasn't fully thought through. Okay, well here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be right back. And I'm gonna take a breather, and I'm gonna think for a minute. And when we come back, we'll have this figured out. Okay. So here's the thing. I couldn't figure it out in that time span. Okay, well, let's look at the places in Faerun you can go. Because Eldon and Lanayru don't mean as much to me, but Faerun is like... So the difference... Okay, the reason why I'm like obsessing over Faerun in this situation is because Faerun is innately important to the Zonai. And so it played a pretty big role in Tears of the Kingdom in terms of like, that's where you got Mineru's like mask, and that's where like the Thunderhead Isles and then the Dragonhead Isle, like that's where all that was. And so it's like a pretty substantial area. And in all of Breath of the Wild, Faerun, I'm going to write this down. Faerun had storms. Faerun gets its own cat. Whoa, it's also not how you spell Faerun. Faerun. It's stormy and it's important. And it's stormy in Breath of the Wild and in Tears of the Kingdom. And that's important because I think that based on the quest that you do in Faerun, the one where you clear the storm, you can assume that that storm is connected to the Zonai. Like it's like vital to the way it works in Faerun is that you can just kind of think that perhaps it's always been that way. It's always been stormy. Mayhaps. Mayhaps, mayhaps. So Faerun, in Faerun, you can go to Faerun Province. This is Faerun Province. The Ancient Cistern, which doesn't ring a bell to me. The Deep Woods, Faerun Woods, the Great Tree, Lake Floria, the Sealed Grounds, the Sealed Temple, Skyview Spring, Skyview Temple, and Furor's Silent Realm. So the Silent Realm doesn't matter very much. The Skyview Temple... Okay, the Sacred Grounds, I guess. The Sacred Grounds is where the creepy thing is, right? The imprisoned. Yeah. I think. Oh, this is confusing. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know. Oh. I don't think it's stormy. I wish it was stormy. That would have made my life so much easier. God. Oh. So I watched a theory. I watched a theory the other day that said, perhaps, mayhaps, what if all of the previous Zeldas, the Legends of Zelda that came before, were really just legends? And that the only true story is that of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And I think that's a little silly, crazy, weird. But at the same time, like, what other options really are there, right? Like, because you could make the argument that, like, perhaps the information about the castle doesn't matter as much. Maybe there was another castle. Maybe we just didn't see the castle in Skyward Sword. You could make the argument that the islands didn't need to rise on behalf of the Zonai. But, like, I don't know, gamers. I don't know. There's a lot. And it's complicated, too. Like, this is confusing. I feel like I'm trying to uncover Fate Stay Night. like with how complicated this is. I just don't have any answers, is the like weird part of it all. Is that I don't know. Like I've always had it in my head that like the past portion of Tears of the Kingdom had to come before Skyward Sword because that's how it made sense. But if it comes before Skyward Sword, then does it even make sense? Like, so you never go to Hyrule. You never go to Hyrule Field. So there's no way you would have ever seen the castle. So even if there was a castle and it was for whatever reason not inhabited by Zelda at that point. So okay, here's the running theory. Okay, the running theory is that Tears of the Kingdom happens. Tears of the Kingdom past happens. Sonia dies, Rauru dies. Before they die, before Zelda even goes there, they had a child. Some sort of a child. And perhaps this child is fully Hylian. This child grows up. Well, no. This child builds the castle. Well, okay. Alternatively, the child doesn't need to be fully Hylian. They can be like 50%. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Maybe they have a little bit of a Zonai in them. So they build the castle on top of Rauru. Boop, boop, boop. Which we know in Tears of the Kingdom, that was how that happened. The castle was there because it was there to protect the situation that was occurring. So they build the castle, and then either Mineru or... It has to be Mineru or Rauru, or this, like, unnamed mystery child that raised the islands. Because in my mind, at least, who else would have been capable of raising islands if not for the Zonai? And that's compounded by the fact that Purah, like, states that the Zonai are crazy because they've raised the islands into the sky. So let's just say for laughs that it was this child, Rauru and Sonia's child, that they have enough Zonai juice in them to raise the Sky Islands for Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword happens this child has a child, which has a child, which maybe has a child, and that child becomes Gaepora, which has Zelda, and Zelda's the embodiment of the goddess. Fine. That doesn't answer our question about what the hell is happening with the Demon King. Because in Skyward Sword, Demon King looks like Demise. Those were two very awful, disgusting looking question marks. That's better. The Demon King looks like Demise. Ula, hello, welcome in. If you are worried about Tears of the Kingdom spoilers, just letting you know I am trying to figure out Tears of the Kingdom. But I am opposed to taking a break from this because it is kind of hurting my brain. So if you don't want Tears of the Kingdom spoilers, say it now. We can talk about literally anything else and I can stop breaking my brain. But, so the Demon King looks like Demise. The Demon King looks like Demise, and that doesn't make any sense. Because Demise is technically a god. Demise is a god. The Demon King isn't a god. The Demon King is just some dude. Literally, he's some dude who has a stone. I have no idea what is happening. Okay, well then we can take a break from this for a little while. I'm frustrating myself anyways. How are you doing? We can hide that. How are you doing? How's your weekend? How's your day? It's been a pretty chill stream. Haven't had any plans this stream, so we spent some time doing my Japanese flashcards, and then we spent some time talking about the most insane TV show that I've ever watched. And now I'm trying to puzzle through the Tears of the Kingdom lore to try and make it work with the rest of the Zelda franchise. So It has been a little bit of a time, I'll say that much. I am not a Zelda expert, but I am a Zelda enthusiast, and so that's only made it more difficult. I did have to Google about 3 minutes ago what was happening with Skyward Sword. I'm pretty good, thank you. Did a bunch of IB math problems, so now I'm gonna chill. Yeah, that's good. Good to take a break. I remember IB math. I taught myself IB math, and so it was not exactly a fun time. I should be having a video on TOK come out probably tomorrow. So that should be helpful for some people. I'm sure you've already done TOK or are already in TOK if you're doing IB math, but you know, what year in IB are you? First year, second year? Just finished. Well, I hope you didn't just finish your exams if you are doing math practice problems. That would be pretty not fun. I graduated in 2022, so I graduated last year, I tested last year. So it's been a minute for me, but I'm still in it. I don't know that you ever truly leave the world of IB. First year? Yep, I remember. DP1, okay. Yep. I know the pain. Well, then you might actually find this this video that's coming out helpful because I talk about your TOK exhibition and your TOK essay, and you'll have to do both. How's life after IB? Honestly, pretty good. IB, I think, was a little different for me than it was for a lot of other people because my school didn't have the best IB curriculum or the best IB situation that was going on. So my coordinator changed 3 times in my 4 years of high school. My math teacher left us halfway through my single year of IB math, and then instead of getting a new teacher, my Spanish teacher, who was also our IB coordinator, started teaching us math. My TOK teacher only went to about half of our classes, and she didn't ever really look at our written assignments or anything like that. So IB was kind of crazy for me. It was a lot more work than I hope it is for you. So now that it's over, it's been pretty relaxing. I'm still in university, so obviously I just finished my first year of university, but IB has honestly been a big help in university because they talk about it a lot and you're like, okay, but I had to write for an English class I took 4 essays, and they were 1,000-word essays, nothing terrible. And everybody was like, oh my God, I tried to write this essay in 2 hours and it was so difficult. And I was like, I wrote the whole thing in 45 minutes and I got an A-. And so it does give you a little bit of a superpower. The other thing that's pretty cool about life after IB, especially at a university, is that I've been able to meet people from other countries who did IB and hear about their experience. So I have a friend from Taiwan who did IB, and so we were able to compare our experiences. Is the first year of uni at least a little bit easier than IB? It is worlds easier than IB. So for both semesters that I've finished, I took 16 credits. My majors, by the way, are neuroscience and Japanese, so a little bit of different majors from, I think, what I probably talked about in my video where I talked about what I was doing with my IB diploma. But in my first semester, I took Gen Chem 1 and its lab, Bio 2, Japanese Year 1, Semester 1. What else did I take? I had to take an anti-racism course. That might have been it. And it was so much less work than anything I did in IB because I didn't have to do any severe writings for my Gen Chem or my Bio. I didn't have anything crazy studying. I didn't really do any crazy studying. I was able to study much more effectively because I taught myself how best to study for IB, and so my studying for finals for university was so much easier. Whoa, that is so interesting. Thank you. Yeah, but the studying gets so much easier once you know how to study. And I started seriously studying for my IB exams in about January and then really got serious in February. And so I studied for several months. But for school, for my finals, I studied for about a week and a half before finals week. So a lot less than I did for IB, and I did just as well. I think I came out of the first semester with a B in chemistry and an A or an A minus or an A plus in everything else, which was really good. And then for my second semester, I took Gen Chem 2 and its lab. I took Biolab. I took Japanese year 1, semester 2. I took History of Japanese Art. I took Japanese music. I think that was it. And I came out with an A or an A minus or an A plus in everything for the second semester. And honestly, the second semester was a lot worse for me, just mentally. So I was really happy. Any tips on how not to burn out while studying? Interesting question. So, like I said, I started studying, I taught myself the entirety of history. So everything that you see me talk about in any history videos, I taught myself. Anything that I wrote about on my IB history exam, I specifically remember having taught myself all of the questions that I was answering. And so I did a lot of studying. I studied for several months. It was like hours a day. I think that my tips for how not to burn out while studying is pace yourself. If you are studying in one specific day, and let's say you've done 2 hours of studying, and you are just tired and you're unmotivated and it's difficult and you feel like, oh, I don't want to be here, I just want to watch my TV show, you have, in my mind, 2 options. Either you're done for the day or you take a break and you come back later that day. And the reason why I don't say that you have a third option of just keep powering through is because I have the mentality that if you are not trying to learn the material you're looking at, if you are instead focused on how you don't want to be there and you don't want to be doing it and you have so many other things you wish you were doing, that you are going to be so anti-studying that you are going to convince yourself that you don't want to learn it, and then you're not going to pick up any of the stuff you're studying. So I would say instead of trying so hard to cram in hours, try and cram in quality studying. So what I would do is if I felt like, I don't want to be here for biology, I don't want to study this anymore, it's been like 2 hours of studying it and I want to get in at least another hour, I would say, okay, is it almost dinner time? Is it almost lunchtime? How much more time is left in the day? If there's enough time where I'm like, I'm going to go to bed in like an hour, just be done for the day. You got in 2 hours of studying, that's really good. It's better to take a break than push yourself and hate it. Because if you hate it and it's just awful and you don't want to be there the whole time, you're not going to study effectively. Your other option is to take like a good hour or 2 hour break. Maybe go out, maybe go for a run, or I like to ice skate. So I would probably do that. I can't imagine trying to study for my IB exams without the let out of ice skating. I would go ice skating for about 2 hours twice a week. And it was a designated time for me for when I could say, okay, this is the time where I am not thinking about my classes. I'm not thinking about my coursework. I'm literally thinking about how do I not fall over flat on my face. I can literally study for hours, so much that sometimes I forget everything around me. I love studying my HLs, but I think it's unhealthy. I don't know that it's necessarily okay, you're very similar to me. I'll say that first of all, you're very similar to me. My friends at university don't like studying very much. I don't love studying. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I can study for a very long time and just be dedicated. I can sit down and just study for a whole day. And so I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I think that what you might consider doing instead is timing yourself for how long you're studying and spreading out how you're studying. Because I don't want you to get so stuck on doing one specific subject that you're putting your other subjects to the side, if that makes sense. So like what I would do is I'd look at the clock and I'd say, okay, what time is it right now? It's 3:30 right now where I live. It's 3:30. I will study biology until 5. And at 5, I'll get up, I'll go make dinner, I'll eat dinner and I'll sit back down at 6. And at 6, I'll start studying math, and I'll study math until 8. And at 8, I'll get up and I'll go take a shower. And so I never had to set timers for myself, but I think that setting timers for you might be a good way to go. Where if you're like, okay, well, it's been 2 hours of studying this, I need to get up, do something else for a certain amount of time, and then sit back down, and I can study this again, is going to be healthy, because then you're not forgetting to eat, you're not forgetting to shower, you're not forgetting to sleep. There's also something very therapeutic about putting your scheduling for your studying on a piece of paper or some sort of a timetable. For finals week in university, that's what I did, is I would always put down like from 1 to 3, I'm going to be studying chemistry, and from 3 to 4, I'm going to be going here, and then from 4 to 5, I'm going to be like making sure that I'm telling myself when I'm going to study and when I'm not going to study is a great way for me to hold myself accountable for not studying for too long and studying for long enough. And that, I think, is a good way to balance burnout, because you're not overstressing yourself on a specific topic or a specific thing. That makes a lot of sense. To be honest, it's a bit harder for myself to get myself to study my SL topics. For example, my history is getting really rusty. Yeah, I understand. I think that I'm assuming you're diploma bound, and I'm assuming you don't know where you're going to university yet, which is fine. I did not know where I was going for my university until like halfway through my second year of IB. But my university only takes HL credits. And so my IB diploma, while I appreciate having it, and while I don't think I'd trade it for anything, technically it didn't really give me anything. So my HLs were the only thing that got me something. That isn't to say you shouldn't study your SLs. I spent a lot of time for my SLs, but just keep in mind that some schools are going to be like that, where their like requirements are a little bit different. Let me drink some of my iced tea here. But yeah, I think that I definitely spent more happy, productive time studying subjects that I liked than the ones that I didn't. I didn't get as much choice over what I was taking SL and HL, and I'm honestly glad about that, because I think that I would have ended up a little bit more like you if I got to choose what I was taking SL and HL, because I would focus a lot more on the subjects that I enjoyed for my HLs than the ones that I didn't enjoy for my SLs. Emu Beatbox says, did you watch Demon Slayer? I watched the first season, and then honestly I stopped, which is really bad of me. It's really bad of me, but like, I'm just so much more a shoujo girl. Like, I like romance and slice of life and like the boring shows, and Demon Slayer had so much action. And that was my vice with Demon Slayer, is that was too much happening. You're very nice. I'm glad I stumbled across your channel before entering IB. I was surprised you were live today. Yes, I've been trying to go live more often. I'm trying to pick back up the YouTube channel as just kind of something to do. I can't promise it's all going to be IB content, but at least a portion of it is still going to be IB until I feel like I've said my piece. And obviously live streams, I'm more than happy to answer questions about IB and talk about my experiences and give any helpful tips. Yeah, I've been trying to live stream a little bit more, and so that's kind of been what I've been doing this past week, is trying to go live. And so it's been really good. We've had some great people, really friendly people pop in. So thank you for being one of those great people to pop in. Demon Slayer was too exciting for me. There was too much happening. I was like, why is there so many people fighting? I don't know whose side anybody's on. That was my vice with Demon Slayer. It's awful. It's awful. But I did watch the first season, so you can't say I didn't try, because I did. Demon Slayer 3 is already finished. There's been 3. I thought there was only 2. I thought there's only 2 seasons. I didn't realize there was 3. Oh no. no. Oh no, my phone. It's okay, don't worry. Okay. Yeah, I'm honestly not super up to date with the shonen kind of anime. Like, I am not up to date with Demon Slayer. I'm not up to date with Bungo Stray Dogs. It's really sad, but it's all right. It's all right. I have been watching, so this season, what I'm watching this season of anime, let me pull it up and I can give you the exact names, is Yamada-kun to Level 999 no Koe wa Suru, or I Love Yamada-kun till level 999 or something to that effect. I'm watching Mahoutsukai no Yome Season 2, so The Ancient Mage's Bride Season 2, and I'm watching Skip to Loafer, so Skip and Loafer. I haven't been liking Skip and Loafer, I think, as much as the masses have, but I have been enjoying, I own all the manga in English for The Ancient Mage's Bride, and I have been enjoying that a lot. People have their own tastes, I get it. Yeah, I watch a lot of anime, it's just that I don't watch a lot of action-adventure. In terms of action-adventure, though, I have watched Sword Art Online, which I know has like a little bit of a cringe to it, but I have watched it, and I watched all of it. I watched Bungo Stray Dogs all the way up until the most recent season. I've watched some isekai stuff, though I don't know that I could remember any of it well enough to tell you specifically which ones I watched. But Skip and Loafer's just been a little bit boring for me. Ancient Mage's Bride has been just the right amount of interesting and like action-filled for me. It has been really faithful to the manga, which I've been really enjoying because I really like the manga. I will say, like, the thing that makes me sad a little bit about Ancient Mage's Bride is that it only has 13 episodes this season, 12 or 13, I can't remember, but the past season, I believe, had 25. And so they really cut down on how many episodes are in a season, which makes me very sad because I don't think we're getting all the way through the college arc, which I guess I didn't expect us to get all the way through the college arc, but I did expect us to get all the way through to where the English manga has been updated for it. And the English manga is like way past where they are now. And so that's been a little upsetty spaghetti for me, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Well, complain about it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna complain about it, but that's a me problem. How many animes have I seen so far? That is a question I can find out the answer for. I have my anime list. So I'm insane. I'm certified insane in that I keep a my anime list. I keep a actual typed out list of all the anime I've watched, as well as my thoughts on it. And I keep a typed list of all the manga I own and a typed list of all the dramas I've watched and whether I liked it, loved it, and what country it's originating from. So I can tell you exactly how many anime I've watched. So I've completed 218. I've dropped 11, and I'm watching 4 right now. Which 218, I feel like that's a pretty respectable number, right? Like that's not a lot, but it's not like anything to scoff at either, right? Like I feel like it's a pretty reasonable number for like someone who says that they like anime. Maybe I'm crazy. I just feel like that's like, I don't know, enough. I feel like it's fine. But yeah, I dropped 11. I can tell you which ones I dropped. So I was watching Cool Doji Danshi as it was airing, and it was, believe it or not, too boring for me. I thought it was too boring. I started watching Gravitation, couldn't keep it up, dropped it. Junjo Romantica, dropped it. Demon Slayer, dropped it. Black Butler, dropped it. I got like halfway through too. I got 14 episodes into Black Butler and decided can't do it anymore. I dropped the second season of ReZero, but I did watch the first season. Sayun Koko Monogatari, I dropped in the second season, but I did get all the way through the first season, and I honestly feel like I deserve a pat on the back for that, because that was really long. It was like 40 episodes or something. Hold on, I can give you the exact number of Sayun Koko Monogatari that the first season was, that I watched the entire first season! Prequel. It was 39 episodes, that's so many. That's so excessive. But I watched it. I watched the whole first season and then dropped it in the second season. I dropped, why did I drop this one? Oh, I know why I dropped this one. I dropped My Dress Up Darling. I was gonna be one of those people that watched My Dress Up Darling as it was airing. I watched the first episode. I watched the second episode. I decided I couldn't do it anymore. It was so fan servicey. Attack to OP Destiny, I feel like I didn't drop. I feel like that was supposed to be in plan to watch because I haven't watched it. Why would I drop it? LOL. And then I dropped Natsume's Book of Friends in the second season. I got 7 episodes through the second season and then stopped watching. I feel like that was cute. I liked the first season. The problem, there were 2 problems I had with Natsume's Book of Friends. The first problem was that I was watching it with a friend online, and that friend didn't want to finish it, and I didn't want to finish it without my friend. And then the other issue was that it was like just a little bit boring. 218? Yeah, is that like a lot or like not a lot? I need you to tell me if that's a lot or not a lot, because I don't know. I can also get my Word doc. Why do I have a Word doc? I have a Word doc of all the ones I've completed, and the Word doc is 5 pages long. I'm on my 5th page. So, I need you to tell me if 218 is a lot or not a lot. Because I see some people with like 1,000 or more, and like, I just don't know. But yeah, I dropped Natsume's Book of Friends. But that's all the ones I've dropped. I skipped A Rent-A-Girlfriend. I also dropped that in the second episode. I think that's everything. Yeah. Yeah. Manga, I have less of a good count of how many manga I own, and I have an even worse count of how many manga I've read. 218 is insane. Okay. Thanks for telling me. How long have you been watching anime for? I started in 2020. I started watching in the summer of 2020, and the first one I watched was Kimi no Na wa, which was Your Name. And I watched it because I was really into Avatar: The Last Airbender at the time, and I looked at my online friend and I went, I know you like anime. And she was like, I do like anime. And I was like, I would like to like anime. Can you help me like anime? And she was like, okay. And she told me to watch Your Name. And I watched Your Name. That's a movie, in case you haven't watched Your Name. Oh my God. So good. So good. Kimi no Na wa, like, deserves all my love in my heart. And so I watched that in like the summer of 2020. And then we went through and watched a bunch of Ghibli stuff. And then after the Ghibli stuff, I watched ReZero on my own. So the fact that I continue to watch anime after watching ReZero is astounding, because I hated ReZero. I hated ReZero with an absolute passion. With a passion. I cried so much during Your Name. I also cried my eyes out during Your Name. It was so good. It's such a good show. And I went from Your Name and Ghibli stuff, and then I watched ReZero. And I hated it. Because I don't love that kind of isekai, like gore and blood and they're fighting. It's not my style. But it was the first thing that I watched on my own. And again, I watched anime again after, which is crazy. Really brave of me. Then I watched Tenki no Ko, which is Weathering with You. Then I watched A Silent Voice, which A Silent Voice like lives in my heart as like something that I've seen very recently. And it was really one of the first things that I watched on my own. It was very good. And then after A Silent Voice, I watched The Garden of Words. Also very good. I've watched that one like twice. And then I watched When Marnie Was There, which is another Ghibli. And then I didn't watch much on my own in terms of like shows again until Plastic Memories. I watched on my own, was the next show that I watched on my own time. I don't have that much of time watching anime, TBH. I mean, no, yeah, that's a lot of time to spend watching anime. I don't watch as much now. I watch a lot more stuff that's airing now. I want to watch more anime, but I've been really into dramas recently. And so I've been watching a lot of like Thai dramas and C-dramas and J-dramas. And they take up a lot more of my time right now, which is really sad. But I want to watch more anime. And so this summer, it's like one of my things that I'm like, I would like to watch anime. If I could stream myself watching anime, I would. But I would definitely get DMCA'd for that. So I will not be doing that. A Silent Voice, amazing. It is so good. Silent Voice, do I know the Japanese for a silent voice? Something koe. It starts with a K. It's ki something? K? Koe? I don't, oh, wait. I can figure this out. I have the power of God on my side. I can figure out what the name of the show is. Silent Voice. I can Google it is what I'm going to do. Japanese name. Koe no katachi. Okay, I did say it had K and koe, and so I was not incorrect. Koe no katachi. And yeah, it has my heart. I've watched it like 3 times, I think, and it's so good. So good. 10 out of 10, recommend. 10 out of 10, recommend. Absolutely. Yeah. My top movies are Kimi no Nawa, so Your Name, Koe no Katachi, so A Silent Voice, and also Makio and the Promised Flower Blooms. And I used to have the Japanese name memorized, but now I just call it Makia. Makia is such a good movie and nobody's ever seen it. It's by a much smaller animator, like animation company. But it was done through PA Works, so it's not like it was small. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And it's so pretty. And the story is so good. The story is like based on like a mother adopting a child, a mother from a clan who lives very, very long lives, adopting a human child. And obviously she knows that in adopting this human child, she's going to be doomed to watch this child grow up more than her and eventually pass away before her. And it is like the most heart-wrenching like film. I loved it. So Makio and the Promised Flower Blooms is a big recommend. What's the best anime I've watched? Oh, so if I exclude movies, because I think that overcomplicates things, and I don't know that I can give you an answer if I include movies, I can give you a shorter list. Fruits Basket, really good. If you have not seen Fruits Basket and you are okay with a little bit of slice of life stuff, I recommend it. It's got love, it's got drama, it's got a bunch of side characters who are fleshed out in really good ways, and they're really interesting, and they have their own lives and personalities, and I like them. And it's 3 seasons. The first 2 seasons are like the 25-ish episode length, and then the last season is about 13, so it's a little bit shorter. Very good. Watch Fruits Basket. It's up there. It's up there. Clannad. If you've never seen Clannad, the first season's a little bit of a drag, in my opinion. But the second season, bawling. I was bawling the whole time. I think I literally watched the second half of the second season just with tears streaming down my face. I had a headache from being dehydrated afterwards. It was so good. It was so good. The second season is called After Story. You have to watch the first season first. And the first season is a little bit of a drag. And I'm sorry, but it's worth it. It is worth it. And Oh, yeah. Recommend. If you've never seen Orange, it's a little bit of a different type. It is a lot more like, people will tell you it's sci-fi, and there is like an element of like time travel, but it's like no people are time traveling, just letters. And so the thing that happens is that these high schoolers get letters from their future selves telling them that their new friend Kakeru is going to be really sad, and that they need to help save him, and that in their timeline he did not survive, and that they need to do these specific actions to help save his life. And so that's what Orange is about. It's like heart-wrenching, and it like dives into a lot of like really deep and emotional themes in a way that's like accessible by high schoolers. And so I thought that was really, really good. Again, though, it is a little bit more slice of life-y, so you have to be okay with slice of life. Violet Evergarden, which is what my profile picture's from. Banger show! I think if you like shonen, you're gonna like Violet Evergarden. Even though it's technically not shonen, it's still like banger. Banger! Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Kento Yamazaki has my heart. Are we talking about dramas here? I'm like Googling him right now. Okay, so he was in the Orange drama. Yeah. Oh, he was in Good Doctor? I didn't know that. Yeah. Orange. I own the manga for Orange too. The manga is like 2 volumes and 2 extra volumes, and they're real good. Really good. But yeah, Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden is set in like a different world, and the premise is that this girl was used as like a war maiden, a war doll for her childhood. And so she was put into war and just told fight. And it ends up with her losing both of her arms, as well as the only person who's ever treated her like, sorry, I just moved the camera. The only person who ever treated her like she was a human. And so the show follows like her trying to figure out like, what is love? How do you be human? And how do I live my life after this tragedy? But there's still fighting, and there's still war, and it's still drama filled, and like the characters are really good, and it's by KyoAni, and so you know it is the most beautiful piece of media you will watch. It is so good. It is so good. So Violet Evergarden, way up there. Way up there. Given, really good. It's BL, and they play in a band, and the premise is that the main character, his ex-boyfriend, unalived himself, and he feels like it's his fault, and he has his guitar, and then he starts playing guitar, and he gets in this band, and then he finds love again, and it's like really nice. It's really nice. It's really interesting. I will say the movie, little sketch. The movie's about the second couple. I was not in love with the second couple. Was not in love with the second couple. I have to mention Yuri on Ice. Yuri on Ice. That's all I'll say. What's my music taste? A little bit all over the place. I listen to a lot of OSTs, so original soundtracks. So I've been listening to a lot of the Zelda soundtracks, just for years. The Breath of the Wild soundtrack, some of the songs from like Wind Waker, some of the songs from, oh god, I'm blanking. Skyward Sword. I listen to some of the songs from Skyward Sword. So OSTs, both from games, and I listen to Animal Crossing and stuff. Games as well as shows. So I listen to the Silent Voice and all of the stuff that Radwimps puts out for the movies that they do. I listen to all of that. And then I also listen to like more poppy stuff, J-pop stuff, in terms of like YOASOBI. And I listen to, hold on, I can pull up my list and give you actual names. Kokia, I listen to Kokia a lot. I listen to a lot of Joshun. He is a Chinese artist. He's great. Fujikaze, I've been listening to a lot more, that kind of deal. And then I also listen to just some of like the TikTok songs that everybody likes. Like I really like Dear Arkansas Daughter. I really like the Kill Bill and stuff like that. And then my one weird song that's been like, okay. The other things that I like is like rock. So like I like J-Rock. And so like my favorite J-Rock band, I kind of know all their songs, is One OK Rock. But then I also like kind of like progressive rock a little bit. And so I've been listening to a lot of OK Goodnight, their songs. They're a American band, I believe. And they just released a new album that has been playing in my head 24/7. And their new album is called The Fox and the Bird. Highly recommend. Very, very good. Very good album. And so it's just a little bit punchy. And I like that. So music tastes a lot over the place. A lot over the place. Like it's everywhere. But I always have something to listen to. So can't complain. Yeah, it's everywhere. Let me see if I have any more like blaring anime recommendations. Okay, I can rapid fire these. Skate the Infinity. Watch Skate the Infinity. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. Heaven Official's Blessing. It's Chinese. I like the book. The book's really good. I recommend. Number 6, good anime. Banana Fish, good anime. I'm looking at my list. I have bad memory. Wow, I can't believe Dinghai Fushenglu and Drowning Sorrows and Raging Fire happened at the same time as Blue Period. They don't feel like they happened at the same time. That's crazy, honestly. Tsurune. Tsurune is such a good anime. I should really talk about Tsurune more. The second season just aired last season or the season before. I can't remember. I think it was last season. It was so good. So good. I love Tsurune. I love Tsurune. It's so good. They're little cute old boys. They fire the arrows. And then they have like girls on the team too. And the girls are good too. And it's by KyoAni, so it's beautiful. Yeah. Tsurune. Good. I just said this was going to be rapid fire. This is not rapid fire. I'm throwing. Okay, I feel like that's gonna be my rapid fire section. That's my rapid fire section of animes that I recommend. I recommend a lot of animes, but what you'll see is if you watch them, they're all a little bit similar in that they're all kind of like romancy, slice of life type beat. That's definitely where I like to spend my time with my anime. It's just chill vibes. I like the chill kind of sweet. I'm so sorry. That was awful. It's just like chill, kind of sweet, cute. That kind of like good feeling, you know? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But I'm always looking for more anime. I only have 72 on my plan to watch. I only have 72 on my plan to watch, guys, so I'm never gonna get through it all, but I really need more. I'm also struggling to figure out what I'm gonna watch next season. I believe My Happy Marriage comes out next season, and I've been I've been reading the manga for My Happy Marriage, and I've been enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, I feel like I've picked out a few from next season to watch, but I don't really know that I have anything like concrete that I'm going to be watching next season, which is a little bit sad, but you know. Also, I'm reaching for a blanket. I dropped a blanket. Yes, I have a blanket, and I did complain about it being way too hot approximately 45 minutes ago. What you gonna do? Use a blanket is what we're gonna do. No, my anime list is too short, to be honest. I really need to watch more anime. It's 218 completed, and then 4 watching. And then my drama list is really long too. So, okay, my drama list, I don't know if you guys knew this. This is like insider knowledge. My drama list has a website that's very similar to my anime list. And I don't use it. I only use it to look up shows. My anime list, I have in all the shows that I've watched. My drama list, I started doing that and I just went, no, I think I'm just gonna not do that. And so instead, I don't use my drama list. You haven't posted for 11 months, why? So first of all, I'm streaming. Which is new, I understand, but it is a step in the right direction. Second of all, I'm going to be posting tomorrow. I have a video to post tomorrow about IB. Third, I finished IB. This channel was kind of like my journey through IB and my need to study, and like kind of like it was teaching people the same things I was teaching myself. It was originally made for my classmates and for me. So I made the videos to practice learning the information, and then I shared them to my classmates so that they could also learn the information. And so when my classmates and I both graduated and we all finished our IB assessments, I wasn't studying IB anymore. And so it didn't make sense necessarily for me to continue to post IB content. After that, I posted a video. I posted my valedictorian speech, which nobody's watched, which I thought was actually hilarious. And then I posted a rundown of my score, which was the last thing that I posted. Because that was like that in my mind marks the end of my high school IB journey. That being said, the video that's coming out tomorrow is IB related. And the reason is because I'm trying to transition this channel out of IB content, but I think it would be a lot to just start posting different content. I think that would be really weird for some people. I think I'd get a lot of unsubscriptions, which obviously YouTube is not going to treat the channel favorably if 400 people just unsubscribe from it all at once. And I don't know that it makes sense for me to continue posting IB content, especially like teaching IB content for free, because I don't make money off this channel. And then the other part of it was I went to university and I got busy. I went to university and I made friends, and suddenly, instead of it being a 2-hour endeavor for me to go figure skating, it was a 4-hour endeavor for me to go figure skating. And suddenly I was getting myself my dinner and I was living life on my own. And I didn't have as much time to dedicate to posting like more general content. But right now in the summer, it's the summer after my first year of university, so I have a little bit more time. So I have the time right now to dedicate to streaming, trying to grow the channel, and starting to transition the channel out of strictly IB content. I will never be taking my IB content down unless it's like 20 years later and I'm like, oh my God, this is cringy. And then at that point, hopefully nobody's watching it anyways, because the IB changes like every 7 years. But right now, it's going to stay up. As of right now, it's going to stay up forever. And so it's never going to go away. And IB is always going to be like a part of me and a part of my life and a part of what I did. But it's not currently my life. I'm no longer in the classes every day, and I no longer teach myself IB history for 6 hours a day. Thank God. And so I don't really have the video content to make. So the video that's coming out tomorrow is about TOK. I did really well in TOK, and I feel like I have a lot to say in terms of how you can do well in TOK, and I feel like people don't talk about that as much. There are other TOK videos on YouTube, but in my opinion, they don't do as good of a job as I am doing. I also have built a little bit of a following from people who expect IB content. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you. Yeah, I just hope people stick around for the most part. Not that I have any infectious personality, but I hope they stick around at least for a little while. At some point, I'd like to get this channel, monetized, make a little bit from it. But right now, it's just something I'm doing for fun. I have time in the summer. I have time to stream. I have time to hang out. Why not? Why not, And so once I transition the channel out of IB content, I figure I can still do a little bit of like university type content and just like life content. I like games. I like TV a lot, obviously. So I can see myself doing a lot of like pop culture type stuff. I actually just talked about earlier the most ridiculous TV show that I think I've ever watched. And I think I might do a video on that and like reading the manga from that, and like reviewing that TV show. But that'll be a longer video for me to make than this TOK video, which I filmed last night and I'm hopefully posting tomorrow. But you know, it's a balancing act. But yeah, to answer your original question, I'm no longer in IB because I graduated out of it. I've been holding this cup for 3 minutes. Hold on. We're good. We're chilling. Yeah, I transitioned out of IB and I also got busy. I always talked about coming back to the channel and like posting more stuff. And then I just never did. But why not, you know? At least for a little while. If everybody hates it and everybody unsubscribes and suddenly I get shadow banned by YouTube, then maybe I don't continue this path. I'm still in university, and so I'm still getting like a degree, and so it's not like this is my job prospects or anything, but it is like enjoyable to me for a certain extent, to come on and stream and chat and draw and study Japanese flashcards, which is what we did today. Yeah, that's the long and short of it, I guess. Sorry for such an overzealous answer to your not so confusing question. But yeah. But I want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom lore at some point. That's what we were doing on stream a little bit today, and then I got tired. It's exhausting. Oh my gosh, my life is so hard. I'm talking about video game content. Oh. But, you know, me, when I talk about the Japanese expansion for 45 minutes, this is not a big deal. Me, when I talk about Zelda content for 30, I'm so tired. No. My life is so hard when I'm a streamer. Doing what I enjoy and only talk about the things that I like. How long have you been studying Japanese? So, difficult question. Technically, I started the Japanese major in August. So, almost a full year. The longer answer is that I technically kind of have been studying Japanese since I started watching anime, because my brain picks up language pretty easily. And so, like, I already knew a lot of things from anime because I had been listening to people talk and reading the English translations. And so, like, a lot of the basic greetings I had already known when I went into class, and some of the, like, conjugation patterns or, like, typical sayings I had known. And then I would say at about the beginning of my senior year or my second year of IB, so right the year before I graduated high school, I did Duolingo for a little while, but I didn't find much success. And then the summer before my second year of IB, I took it upon myself to memorize all the hiragana and katakana. I have the flashcards. So I made this many flashcards. And I sat there and I learned them all. And to be fair, I knew all the things when I came into class, so it worked. So it's a complicated question. I have been seriously studying it for my major since August, and that's when I got like Japanese teachers, and they obviously help worlds for studying Japanese. And so that's been like when I like really set out to start. How do you deal with kanji? I don't. I mean, I do. I technically know 83 kanji right now. So the way our school does Japanese is we go through a textbook and we memorize parts of the textbook, and then we go into class and then we use the things that we've memorized. So every week we get a schedule of what we're supposed to memorize in our textbook. And so for the first semester, we memorized all of the hiragana and half of the katakana. And for our second semester, we memorized the second half of the katakana and the first 83 kanji. And so I can pull up my kanji worksheets if you'll give me just a minute. The way I deal with kanji is not the best. I will confess that it is incredibly difficult for me to figure out kanji. So, okay, well, we're not talking about Tears of the Spoiler. Tears of the Spoilers? Tears of the Kingdom spoilers anymore. Sorry. Spoilers. That's what I named it. I'm losing my mind. So this is what I did for kanji. So I went in and I wrote down what... You can see this was at the very beginning of starting to learn kanji because I wasn't good enough with hiragana to have this memorized, but now I am. And so I went in and I drew the kanji based off the textbook, and then I copied it a bunch of times until I started to like my handwriting, and then I would practice it, and then I also made flashcards for kanji. The problem that I'm having with kanji now that I'm honestly not super sure how to fix, except with studying this summer, which kanji, is when kanji are combined with other kanji to make differently expressed words. And so, like, ishokenne, or like, ichinichiju, those are like similarly kanjied, but like differently said. And so those kinds of things are what I struggle with right now. So this is the first, I guess, 20 kanji. Oh, this is the next 20. And so you can see at the top here, like, I could not remember which was daigaku, which was daigakusei, and which was sensei, and so I copied them down. Because our teachers would make us go up to the chalkboard and write out the kanji. And it was awful. And I got a lot of corrections on my handwriting, and so you can see that like my handwriting starts to get a little bit better, or just different, really. So it's the next 20. This is the 20 after that. And then I believe there's like one more set after this, maybe two? No, just the one. And so after this, I'll go back through the textbook and probably try and get a little bit better at recognizing which are connected and which are not. It's definitely something I struggle with. Kanji is difficult for me in particular. If you are looking to learn hiragana and katakana, there's a really great website called hiraganaquiz.com. Hiraganaquiz.com is my baby and my beloved, and I would give the creator $1 million. It's a great website. All it does, is it shows you a hiragana or a katakana, and you have to type in the reading in the romaji. That's it. But it's so simple, but it's so effective because you're able to get very quick and very fluid with it. And I wish there was some way to do that with kanji. And I know there is a website, and my friend uses this website that does something a little bit similar, and so I need to grab that website from them. But as for right now, I just bawl. We just bawl. I just hope that I don't get any kanji in class that I don't know how to read. And then for my last oral exam, so every oral exam you have to go in and read aloud a passage and then answer questions about it, which is, by the way, awful. Awful, because you have to read it aloud and then think about what you just read aloud. Ew. It was so hard. Oh, I was so bad at it. And so for the last one, I actually talked to someone who came out of their oral exam right before I went into mine. And they were like, this kanji's read like this. And I was like, thanks. I needed that. Oh. And so kanji is a weakness, and I wish that I had better answers. The other suggestion I have is that there's a really great app called Imiwa. And Imiwa is an app for kanji in specific. It lists out all the JPLT kanji. Is it JPNLT or JPLT? Either way, it lists out all the kanji for each of the levels of JP and LT levels, and it tells you the readings and like what they're used for. And then it also has it that you can put in a kanji and it'll give you the readings, and it also has it that you can put in words and it'll give you translations, and it has it that you can put in words and it'll give you the kanji. So very good app, very recommend app thank you, college people, for telling me to download the app. It's a very good app. Yeah, I won't say names, but there was definitely people at my college that specifically recommended that app, and I would like to thank them because it is very good app. Very good app, very easy to understand app. It's basically just a dictionary that you Google, and I love it. But yes, that is the kanji. A battle that I have not yet won. But someday I will win the kanji battle. That day's not today, but someday. Yeah, my Japanese is, I'm honestly really concerned that my Japanese is going to diminish over the summer, because when I'm at school, I have Japanese class every single weekday. And so I'm there for an hour to 2 hours, 5 days a week. Excuse me? That's so much. And so I just used it all the time, and I got corrected all the time. And now I'm at home and I'm alone and I watch anime, but like watching anime and having conversations is not the same. And having conversations and having someone look at you and go, no, is not the same. And so I'm really worried that my Japanese is going to diminish between the time that I got home from university and the time that I go back. So that's a little bit of a yikes fear of mine, but you know, everything's fine if we just ignore it. That's why we, a little bit earlier in the stream, we're going through my flashcards for my vocab, because my vocab is really bad too. Because I just memorize words that I want to use and not the others. But that's not how language works. You can't just ignore people if they're not talking about the topic that you want to talk about. That's not how it works. You have to know what people are saying. And so I need to be better. I need to be better, and I will be better. I also want to study ahead a little bit. I need to back study. I need to do so much studying for Japanese, like more so than anything else, because the teachers stay the same. So the teachers in your class rotate, and so you see multiple teachers in your one class, but then the teachers change between days, but not between years. And so I'm really worried I'm going to embarrass myself in front of the teachers that like know me and they like know how my Japanese is supposed to sound. Maybe it won't diminish if you watch anime every day. That's the dream. That's how I think I'm going to live my life. As long as I continue to watch anime, then it'll be fine, right? Like, as long as I listen to fictional people talk in fictional Japanese, we're not going to have a problem. On that note, though, I mentioned a little bit earlier that I watched some J-dramas. Those, TBH, J-dramas are really good sources of learning Japanese because it's real people who are really using Japanese as opposed to people who are voice acting for characters. The Japanese is usually a lot more natural, or so I found. And so listening to them have like more natural conversations, and obviously these conversations are still stilted and still written and still scripted, but it's more natural than anime. That's been very helpful, especially when I was in class even, because I'd be able to, well, it was helpful, and then also I complained about it a lot because I'd come back from class and I'd watch TV, and that'd be like my de-stress period, except for the fact that my de-stress period is now also a study period because I'm listening to the language that I need to be learning. And so I'm like, oh, that's citation form. Oh, that's the kanji I need to memorize. Oh, I should stop and read that text message. And so it just ended up with me pausing a lot and studying and rewinding and like listening to how they said words or how they used a specific form. And so be careful what you wish for. Because I was like, oh, I love this language. I wish I could read it. I wish I knew it. I no longer wish these things. Well, I do. I love it. It's just that also, like, it's also a little sad. It is. it's funny, I guess, when you can watch a TV show and call that studying, or watch a TV show and feel like you're studying and feel like you have to be hyper-focused in. I will say, I have been doing it for almost a year, like I said, 2 semesters, formally, and I can like look away from anime and know what's going on. And that's a really cool feeling. That's a very cool feeling. Recommend. Granted, I do that for English all the time, and I don't feel great when I do it in English, but Japanese, it gives me the happy feelings. In case you're wondering why I'm distracted, I'm looking at the Hatsune Miku X Traditional Japanese Artwork Limited Collab merch, and I kind of want to buy some Hatsune Miku merchandise. How much is this? How much is this gonna cost me? Oh, several $100s. Okay, yeah, maybe I won't buy. Oh yeah. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. That's over $150. Never mind. Back to being on topic. Close that tab real quick. Close that tab real quick. All right. Well, it has been about a 3-hour stream and I'm feeling a little tired. So I think that's probably where I'm gonna call it today. I'll do my little end spiel, but thank you so much for dropping into chat, dropping into the stream. If you're watching the VOD and you're a VOD frog and you've gotten this far, thank you so much. If you aren't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe. Press the little bell icon next to the gray subscribe button and you can turn on notifications so that you can catch me when I'm live streaming. And you can also notice when I drop that video that's hopefully coming out tomorrow. Once again, feel free to like the stream and leave a comment if you've enjoyed. It lets me know that you did. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for dropping in. Bye, have a wonderful day.